Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Debbie's Designs. It's Friday, and this is day 5 of me showcasing some new products coming on June 1st. I'm just going to give it a couple more seconds for everyone to get on. Okay, I'm going to get started. So tonight I'm using another new stamp set. Hi, Kathy. I had given you guys the choice last night of sitting pretty, enjoy life, and love what you do. And I had 12 people that wanted the sitting pretty. So that's the one I'm using tonight. And that comes with the Pretty Park Framelits dies. What drew me to this, and it's funny because sometimes I'll buy a stamp set or a die set because of a certain piece. And this is the piece that did it for me. I just love this little bench. So I'm going to be using this. I'm doing 2 cards tonight, and I'm going to be using this one on card number 2. So let's get started. Oh, and before I start my card, I wanted to show you a card that I made using the bench. This is actually my free thank you card for the month of May. And everyone that places an online order through my store will get a card just like this one. So I thought it was appropriate just to show you what I did with this stamp set. Okay, the first card we're going to create tonight is this one. It's got the stamped bench, the stamped potted plant, and then the dog is glued in place with stamping dimensionals. Isn't he cute? So let me show you what we've got for layers. Oh, happy Mother's Day to you too, Regina. Okay, Cajun Craze is my card base. 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I am making 2 cards today too. I don't know if I mentioned that already. This is the, hold on. I gotta dig out my names. This is the Share What You Love designer paper. I'm actually using this side. The reason I wanted to use this side, and this is just me, I think these look like little paw prints. So I thought that would be cute to go with the dog. And then Whisper White. This one measures 4.5 by 3 1/4. And then we're using quite a few inks tonight. I've got Crumb Cake, Garden Green, Cajun Craze, Pool Party, and Memento Black. Hi everyone. You guys all buzzed in pretty fast there, and I missed some of you. I'm going to start out by doing the little brick floor with the Cajun Craze. Now this is the image. I just want to show you on scrap first. What you need to do on that is when you stamp the first one, you're going to actually flip it over to continue with the bricks. See how they join together? So that's how we do this one. I'm going to do 2 rows. Okay, so this is where I would flip. So you can pretty much make your own row of bricks. Now I'm going to stagger the center line so that it's halfway up the next brick. See how easy that was? Of course it's clear so you can see through it. So very easily done. Next I'm going to bring in my Memento Black. Now, as far as the plant, we have 3 parts to it. This is the outline, and then we fill in with the vase, and then we fill in with the little plant itself. And this is a spider plant. Actually, I'm going to do the bench first so I can figure out where I want my plant. Now this bench does have a die that you can cut it out with, but for tonight I'm stamping it straight onto the cardstock. And I am using my Stampin' Pierce mat underneath for that extra foam for the pressure. Now I'm going to do the plant. And then we're going to bring the Cajun Craze back in to fill in the bottom of the plant. Now this has the little spiky plant part there that'll line that up. Just like that. And then we're going to use garden green to fill in the plant. Now, even if you don't get them exactly where they need to go, this is a spider plant. Spider plants have white stripes on them sometimes. See, this one I filled in a little bit more than I did here, but it looks okay because it's got that white line from the spider plant leaf. And let's see, we've got a little heart that goes in the center of the bench. And that's Cajun Craze. And then I'm going to do the sentiment. Okay, now we're going to do the little puppy. I'm going to bring in my scrap. If you're not a dog lover, then you can just leave it as is without the dog. But we also have a little squirrel and a little bird that you can add to your project too. Okay, and I'm going to fill him in with crumb cake. And again, it's pretty easy to line him up. You just look at the feet and the legs. And then it fills in like that. Isn't that cute? Okay, now I'm going to bring in the big shot so I can cut him out. And I am only cutting once for this card, but for the card number 2, I'm going to have a few more cuts. And you know, he would be cute alone with just a sentiment too for a simple card. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the pool party before I glue him in place. And I'm going to bring in a sponge. And I'm just going to add a little bit of color in the background. And I'm not doing the whole thing. It looks good with some white space mixed in. So now let's assemble the card. Dixie, you have a pug. So I think this is a bulldog, right? I don't know my dogs very well, but it would be a smaller dog for sure. Okay, I just got to find my snail. Isn't it a shame to cover this pretty paper? So do you guys agree with me? Don't you think these look like little paw prints? That's what I thought. I thought that was kind of neat. Oh, my hubby's concerned because he heard some noise. That was my Big Shot machine. I was moving it. I find the microphone on my phone picks up things so easily. So you still think it looks like a pug, Dixie? I'm not sure. See, I don't know my dogs. I'm more of a cat lover. We do have a beagle, but I just don't know my dogs. We'll say it's a pug. Okay, and I'm going to glue him on with Stamping Dimensionals. So this card was pretty quick because it's all stamping on one layer except for the little pug. We'll call him a pug. So there's card number 1. How cute is that? Okay, let me set up for card number 2. Okay, card number 2. This one has a few more layers. I did the squirrel, the plant, and the dog that I die cut. Now what I'm doing with the bench, I'm using our Wood Textures designer paper. This is actually, I have a bunch of scraps that are this size, which is perfect. So I'm gonna cut that out, but I'll wait till I dig out my Big Shot and cut everything out at the same time. Okay, let me clean my stamp because I'm going to do the brick again. Okay, this time I'm using the new gray granite cardstock with gray granite ink. I need to make myself some more room here. Okay. Okay, so again, I'm going to start on the bottom. Turn my stamp around. So the brick is very easily done with this stamp. Just remember you have to turn it to make everything match up okay. Okay, there's my little brick. Now I'm going to bring in my Whisper White layer and mint macaron. Now I'm going to show you a different way to use the spider plant, and this is not the outline part of it, this is the part that colors. And all I did was go around and frame everything. And I'm stamping twice without re-inking. Kind of gives it an exotic look, doesn't it? Okay, let me just fill in the corner a little bit here. There's a lot of white. So there's my frame. And this time I'm using the Sitting, Thinking, Missing You sentiment. And then we're going to glue the little brick on the bottom. Oops, I just ran out of snail. I've been using this snail all week since I've been filming every night. And that's going to go right at the bottom, even with the edges. Okay, now we're going to stamp and cut out all of our creatures. And this time, instead of using black, I'm using soft suede. So let me see, I've got the plant and the dog. And then we're also going to bring in the squirrel. Oops, wrong one. I need the outline. Okay, where's my squirrel? Oh, that was the right one. Okay, there's the body of the squirrel. And then to fill him in, I'm going to ink up the bold image. I'm going to stamp first and then fill it in. And that gives it a lighter shade by stamping without re-inking. I'm going to do the same thing with the dog. So ink, stamp off. And then you've got the lighter shade for the dog also, even though it's the same ink color. Now we've got the plant. And then we've got the vase part of the plant. And then we're going to color the plant with the mint macaron. Okay, I'm going to bring my Big Shot in one more time. So this time we're cutting out the plant. The squirrel. Okay, let me get some more washi tape. And I need to find my dog. Okay, there's my dog. And then we've got the little squirrel. Well, I keep moving my dies. I'm putting my fingers where they don't belong. Okay, there we go. Okay, there's the plant, the dog, and the squirrel. Oops, you know what? I forget to cut the bench. Regroup. Now, because there's a lot of detail on this bench, what I do for my detailed dies, I add a piece of our designer paper cardboard, just for that little bit more of a push. And you'll see that everything pops out. I missed a little spot right there. Okay, now we're going to glue everything in place. Sue, what am I using to clean my stamps? When I do videos, I don't want my scrubber in the way. So these are actually chamois cloths that I bought on Amazon. They're always wet. And then you just rinse them out and they go in this container. So I always have a bunch. This is like one full sheet and I cut it up in smaller pieces. It just gives me more room to play out here. I even started using them at my classes that are local. I usually put one in each station and the girls use them. It's just a quicker way to clean your stamps. Okay, now I'm going to glue the little bench. So as you can see, you could use either side. Oh, there's one little piece here that didn't pop out. The chamois cloth is coming in handy too with the Stamparatus. If you get any ink on the Stamparatus, you can keep it handy and you wipe as you go. It really works out great that way. Oh, yours got stinky, Carol? I don't know, I haven't had that issue. Okay, there's my little bench. Now we're going to do stamping dimensionals on everything else. And let me grab my mini ones for the squirrel. And then once these are glued down, all I have left to do is to add the twine around the top. So my little squirrel is going to sit on top of the bench. Designer cardboard suit. You know when you get a package of designer paper, there's always a piece of cardboard on the back. That's what I used as a shim. I just cut it up in 6x6 pieces. And then I use that on top of my clear plate on my Big Shot. It just gives it a little bit more pressure so that the detail dies cut a little bit better. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my twine. And I'm going to wrap that around twice. I've had a lot of people have a little light bulb moment. When I tie my twine and my ribbon, I don't cut it ahead of time so I don't waste. As you can see, it's still attached to my roll. I make my bow first, and then I cut what I need on the end. Okay, and I'm going to push that a little bit at the top. So that's card number 2. So these are my 2 cards. And then of course I had the one that I showed you at the beginning of the video. Now I wanted to tell you guys, let me dig out my cards. Once my video is done and I stop it and I post it, in the comments I'm going to put a picture of all the cards I made this week using the new products. And underneath that picture, you guys need to reply if you're from the US. And I'm going to pick a name to win all of the cards I made this week. So let's review. We've got these 2. The ones from last night were the animal ones. And then we had these 2 also. So there's a set of 7 cards here that'll be up for grabs. So just give me a few minutes, I'll end the video and then I'll add the picture in the comments, and then you guys just need to reply to the picture if you're from the US, and I'll pick a name tomorrow morning. So thanks for joining me. I'm gonna try to post again tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. I have a card that I've had made for a while that I wanted to show you guys. It used the basket weave embossing folder. And I wanted to show it to you before the color that I'm using is retiring. So join me tomorrow at 10 a.m. and I'll see you later. Thanks so much for dropping in. Good night.